I'm Jem and welcome to GGSP. Today on the show, we go through our pre-flight checklist and get prehistoric. With reviews of the stunning skies of Microsoft Flight Simulator and the massive reptile management of Parkasaurus. Oh, that gives me a good idea for a joke. So, what do you call the crew of a plane run by dinosaurs? A skeleton crew. You know, because they'd all be fossils? Yeah, well, that's the thing about bad plane jokes. Sometimes they just don't land. No one? Just me? Okay, well then, I better get this baby in the air. Let me just start the show.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Will, and I'll be your pilot for today. I'd like to welcome you to Spawn Point Airlines, where your next spawn point is just a flight away. For now, though, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. The cabin crew, please prepare for takeoff.
Now, which button makes the plane go fly-fly? This one? Sully!
Flight 747.
This is Microsoft Flight Simulator, a totally realistic simulation of flying a plane. Though I must confess, I'm neither a real pilot or experienced simmer. Thankfully, the game does cater for all skill levels. There's loads of assist options, from all assists on, where you just have to steer the plane and use the throttle, planes are borderline indestructible, and Forza-like guides help you navigate. Up to the true-to-life level, where you'll have to do absolutely everything you would do in a real plane, which is a lot. And simply steering too hard can break a plane at this level. Now, being a Sydney lad, the first thing I did was take off from Sydney Airport and try to find my house. Which you can totally do because literally the entire Earth is in this game. Yes, even your house. Sure, it's an AI's best guess at what it looks like, but chances are it's there. But how does the game actually do this, you ask? Well, it combines real-world satellite data with some artificial intelligence to draw in all buildings, roads, rivers, and everything else. You can even set it to stream in the current real-world weather and air traffic. Though, my favorite thing to do is to just set the time of day and cloud cover to whatever looks prettiest. It's like painting, but with nature. But you will need a good internet connection for the optimal experience, as a lot of extra data gets streamed in. You can play without streaming stuff, but the visuals will take a hit. Speaking of visuals, you'll also need a powerful PC to really make this shine, and if you've got one, this game regularly looks photoreal. The outside world is stunning, and the level of detail in the planes is equally amazing, with working computers and buttons that I'm way too scared to push. This is one of those rare moments where all these different bits of technology have come together to create something we've never seen before. Some parts of the world are more accurate than others though, and if you go in for a close look, the illusion can break down a bit, or a lot. But from the skies, it's very impressive. Specific cities like New York have had full 3D scans done too, so all the buildings are more or less exactly as they should be. Sydney, meanwhile, is just the AI guessing what the buildings would look like based on a 2D photo. Though some things have been handcrafted, such as select airports, as well as famous landmarks like the Sydney Opera House. Although, the Sydney Harbour Bridge seems to have missed out on that one. There are other occasional odd issues too. I'm pretty sure this building isn't in Melbourne, and I don't think Antarctica looks like this. But the fact that the whole world is replicated anywhere close to this level of detail, right down to cars, boats, and even animals, is frankly mind-blowing. And at a time when travel is harder than ever, having the ability to travel literally anywhere in the world couldn't be more perfect. I can fly through the Grand Canyon, explore the Himalayas, circle Uluru, visit the pyramids, buzz the Eiffel Tower. Every day I woke up excited to see something new. But as I discovered in my first flight, I had a lot to learn. Flying a plane is serious business, and I clearly needed some lessons. Thankfully, there's a short series of tutorials that guide you through the basics.
Pull back slightly on the yoke to raise.
And by the end of them, I was actually quite confident behind the yoke.
2 inches.
That's what they call the steering wheel thingy. See, I know that now. I'm a real pilot. Sort of. That said, they do only teach you how to fly in a little Cessna. So if you want to learn to fly something bigger, such as a 747, you may need to consult an operating manual. I would have loved if there was a couple of extra tutorials to maybe walk you through the cockpits of a range of planes. Thankfully, you can always call on an AI co-pilot. Just switch them on and they'll handle the busy work of dealing with radio comms,
Sydney Tower Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha frequency change.
or even take over full control of the plane, so you can just enjoy the bits you like. Or avoid the bits where you have no idea what to do, because this is as real as it gets. Planes bounce around in the wind and respond to your controls with a satisfying heft that really sells the sensation of being in weighty machines soaring through the sky, as you would hope for in a sim. It's mostly a very calm experience. I mean, the vast majority of flying is just this. But I loved making myself a hot chocolate, putting on some relaxing music or an audiobook, and just sitting back and taking in the sights on a long flight. That said, there's nothing stopping you from spicing things up, other than physics. There's a few guided activities to partake in as well, like landing challenges and special live challenges that change every few weeks, or long multi-leg bush trips where you navigate using nothing but your instruments, a flight plan, a map, and your eyeballs. And there are leaderboards to compete on for the more competitive pilot. Though if I had to nitpick, I would have liked a few more structured things to do. I get a full campaign mode would have been a bit too much, but a few extra activities would have been nice. I mean, why not let us try and do some stunt flying? Or maybe some kind of photography challenges. There is an in-game marketplace though, which over time will offer extra content like new planes, more detailed cities, and hopefully even some new tutorials and interesting challenges. It's great that this will grow and evolve over the coming years, but all that stuff will cost extra. At the end of the day, this is a simulator, not a game, so don't expect a campaign or a story mode. You just get some planes and the whole Earth captured in spectacular detail to fly them in, and that alone is amazing. But in a real ace maneuver, it's approachable. Hardcore sims can be very intimidating, but here, anyone can enjoy the thrill of flight. I'm giving Microsoft Flight Simulator 5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Welcome to the Scoop! I, of course, am Darren, your trusted gaming news aficionado, expert, authority, master, whiz, connoisseur. Oops. Sorry, my synonym generator must have got a bit stuck. Now, time to get stuck into some gaming news. First up, some indie news from Nintendo. The latest Nintendo Indie World Showcase offered up a heap of Switch announcements, including that Untitled Goose Game is getting a free new 2-player mode. Get your gaggle ready. That's set to release in September, including on all other versions of the game too. Underwater survival games, Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero, will splash onto Switch in 2021, along with titles like Garden Story and Hotel Sim Bear and Breakfast. Other games we'd already glimpsed launched on Switch on the day of the announcement, like Raji, an ancient epic, A Short Hike, Manifold Garden, Takeshi and Hiroshi, and a very Ori-like puzzle platformer called Evergate. And it wouldn't be a Nintendo Indie World presentation without a closing montage of other upcoming indies. A bundle of nindies indeed. Also making headlines in the world of gaming is the result of a worldwide report which found that more than 3 billion people now play video games of some kind. That's almost 40% of the world's total human population. Those who play mainly on PC make up 48% of that bunch, but it's players who play only on mobile platforms that are the fastest growing group. Ooh, video game related data are some of my favorite data. Finally, for this week, the annual charity speedrunning spectacular, Summer Games Done Quick, raced by recently. This year as an online-only event. Speedrunners streamed their super efforts across a range of games including Super Mario Odyssey, Super Metroid, and Superliminal. Together they raised more than $2.3 million for Doctors Without Borders. Or as they say in French Perth, Médecins Sans Frontières. Très bien. It's time now for us to scoop up an extra special extra scoop. A gamer called Rudism is well known for playing games using all sorts of creative game controllers. So much so, the Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout team issued him a challenge to play through their game using actual jelly beans. And he did it, even managing to score a crown.
Woo! Beans!
And that brings us to the end of the scoop for another week. The finish, the conclusion, the denouement, the culmination. Oh, look, it's that synonym generator playing up again. I must have it looked at, examined, inspected, tested, investigated, debugged, rewired, refurbished, recapped.
Everyone knows that when it comes to management simulation games, I just can't get enough. So let me tell you about the latest dinosaur zoo game, Parkasaurus. Oh, it's gonna be dynamite. Parkasaurus was first released in early access back in 2018 to allow users to experience the game while it was still in development. I had a little play of it then, and I really wanted to play more of it.
Yeah, I really want to play more of it.
The idea is to put you in charge of building and running a zoo. But instead of elephants and kangaroos, your park is full of stegosauruses and apatosauruses. Jumping in, you can start your own park and do your thing, try creative sandbox mode, or play through a guided campaign, which also teaches you a bit more about some of the game's deeper gameplay mechanics. But however you choose to play, it's all about those dinos. You'll need to take good care of your dino friends, from building them a nice biodiverse enclosure to providing toys to keep them entertained. A happy dinosaur is a healthy dinosaur, and if you want to keep them healthy, you better employ some experts. You can hire vets, janitors, security personnel, and scientists to take on various jobs around the park. There's your usual feeding and cleaning, but the most important job is jumping into the mysterious portal. Here, you take a team on an expedition to dig for fossils using tetromino shapes. I really liked this minigame. It's nice to have a break from running a highly successful dinosaur park to just do a bit of puzzling. Although if you don't want the distraction, you can have your team automatically finish the expedition. For a small fee, of course. The deeper you dig, the more goodies you stand to gain. These can range from money to science points that are used to research upgrades. But most importantly are the fossilized footprints and skulls that are needed to get new dinosaurs. You can use these alongside gems to unlock new dinosaur types and buy eggs to hatch. This system creates a nice sense of progression, as you have to research rarer gems to unlock some dinosaurs. And you have to have the right genus of skulls and footprints to get an egg. But once you have all your dinosaur buddies, it's time for fashion! That's right, you can dress up your dinosaurs. This gives them various perks and can help make them more appealing to your customers. I know, I'd find it plus 80 more appealing if the dinosaur I saw was wearing some cool headwear. But be warned, hats can be expensive, and you don't want to Brachiosaurus the bank. Having said that, it isn't too hard to make money in this game. But if you are struggling, might I recommend offering free burgers to luring customers? Then once they're lining up, pump the price up to $30. Since they've already made a promise to their stomach for a tasty burger, they'll just pay up.
It's a good way to make some quick cash. Though, let's be honest, I do it for the satisfaction of finding a clever little loophole. And so much of management sims is finding your own groove in the million things there are to do. Although Parkasaurus does let you off the hook from the juggling act because it's not too demanding in the long run. This is a much more chill, slightly simplified version of the sim park genre, which is absolutely perfect for people who don't play many of these games. That's not to say you can completely go on autopilot. If you don't pay attention, you can end up with a dino breakout on your hands. My hands! Thankfully, my guests seem to like it. Even though I usually like to be quite challenged by my sim experience, the colourful and whimsical style makes it so easy to just enjoy the ride. It's like they've instilled the core parts of a management sim and given it to you no fuss, which just makes for a super fun experience. There's still a sense of connection to your dinosaurs and the need to progress and improve your park to get more species. Although the simplified nature occasionally makes parts of the game a bit vague. There's limited data on many things, like not being able to see how much money a food truck is making. This makes it harder to identify problems and then fix them, and to know whether something is a feature or a bug. Also, the terrain tool is pretty frustrating. Look, I don't know what's going on here, but I can tell you that it's not what I want to be going on. I'm just gonna flatten everything. But aside from those mild complaints, I think Parkasaurus is Triceratops. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens. Oh, I think I better get out of here. That sounded like a T-Rex. Do you think he saw us?
Wow, okay, well it is raining gaming queries in the AskSP inbox, so let's answer up a storm, starting with this video question from the Pokemon Whisperer and Eevee.
Hello GGSP, this is the Pokemon Whisperer and Eevee. First question, do Pokemon evolve on Pokemon Cafe? Because on the preview, it showed a Charizard and I've got a Charmander and an Eevee on Pokemon Cafe. Next question. What's your favourite Alolan and Kanto Pokemon? What's your favourite evolved form of Eevee? And do you like my unicorn hat? Thanks, bye!
Why, thank you, oh great Pokemon Whisperer and Eevee. Oh, I'd love to be a Pokemon Whisperer one day. Please teach me your ways. But in answer to your first question, I don't think the Pokemon actually do evolve in Pokemon Cafe Mix. There doesn't seem to be any sign of your Pokemon Cafe staff being able to evolve, at least not in my experience of the game in its current form. You're right that Charizard was featured in the trailer though, and in the game's intro too, so maybe Charizard will be added in some way in a future update or something. We'll just have to wait and see. As for my favourite Alolan Pokemon, I've got to go with Mimikyu. Sure, Mimikyu might appear a bit creepy, but there's a bit of a sad backstory there, which I'm a total sucker for. And my favourite Kanto Pokemon is, no surprise here, Snorlax. I mean, what's not to love about the big old huggable Snorlax? As for my favourite evolution, I'm going to go with Vaporeon. But really, I don't know, it changes depending on my mood. Now to your last question, well no, I don't just like your unicorn hat, I love your unicorn hat. I love both unicorns and hats, so the two together, perfection. Now on to another video question, and this one comes to us from Jack and Ollie.
Hi GGSP, I'm Jack. I'm Ollie. And we have 2 questions for you. 1, when will Minecraft Dungeons come as a game card for Switch? 2, when will Among Trees come to Switch? Plus, we have some emoticons for Darren. Bye.
Oh, better get Darren on the phone for some of these emoticons.
Aloha, this is Darren.
Hey Darren, got some emoticons here for you.
Oh, of course. We're in the money. Right side up, upside down. I'm Cappy.
Thanks, Jack and Ollie. Also, Darren, they were wondering when a Minecraft Dungeons game cartridge will come out for the Switch. Do you happen to know?
Oh, affirmative. A physical release of Minecraft Dungeons is due out in September.
And what about whether Among Trees will come to the Switch?
Well, that seems a bit unlikely, for now at least. Among Trees is still in early access for PC, and it looks like it will be a PC-only release initially, with the possibility of a PlayStation and Mac version sometime in the future. But there's no mention of a Switch release at this stage. Maybe they're too busy keeping it arboreal. Get it? Because arboreal means living in or relating to trees. And it's like they're keeping it real, but arboreal.
Yeah, no, great tree humor there, Darren. Yep, amazing. Okay, I gotta go.
Oh, I cracked myself up.
Yep, okay,
Bye.
Okay, well, I think we have time for one more quick video question, and this one comes to us from Finn.
Dear GGSP, I've got 3 questions for you. 1, do you know if any new LEGO Star Wars games will be coming out in the near future? 2, can you list some games that will be coming out for the PlayStation 5? And 3, can you recommend some games for the PlayStation 5? Thanks, Finn out.
Thanks, Finn. The answer to your first question is yes. Depending on your definition of near future, though, I suppose. We heard recently that LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which was initially due out in October this year, is unfortunately now scheduled to release early 2021. As for some of the games that are coming to the PlayStation 5, well, some of the big ones that have already been announced include a new Ratchet & Clank game, Rift Apart, Gran Turismo 7, a new Sackboy third-person platformer, a mysterious cat game called Stray, Astro's Playroom, and the Bug-Snackula spectacular that is Bugsnax. Although Bugsnax will also be available for PS4 and other platforms as well. Plus, I'm sure there'll be heaps more to come. You might like to check out our Not E3 special from a few weeks back to see what we thought of all those next-gen announcements. You can find that on our online channels. As far as recommending some games for the PS5, that's a little hard to do, seeing as we haven't got to actually play any of them yet. So I guess you'll just have to watch every episode of GGSP coming up to see what we say about them when we get a chance to review them. I will say I am pretty keen to check out Stray though. A stray cat untangling a mystery in a futuristic robot city? Sign me up. And that's all the AskSP time we have for this week. If you have a question for us, go here and send it in. And remember, video questions we use on the show will score you some sweet GGSP loot. Okay, well, I think we well and truly answered up a storm, because I can actually hear thunder.
Well, we're at the end of another episode, but next week on GGSP, we've got Toads in the Garden. We review the revival of the infamously tricky brawler, Battletoads.
All I ever wanted was to be a famous hero, for real. And now I am one.
And we delve into the infinitely surreal puzzles of Manifold Garden. And make sure you check out the ABC Me app for an extra bite-sized serve of GGSP. This week, we're serving up a tasty Let's Play of spider hunting in Kill It With Fire. But until next time, may all your games be good ones. Red out.
Gem out.
Will out.